All right, everybody, Jeremy Lambert, Your Castle Real Estate, coming to you from our Locust media room, where we take on 10 of the hottest sauces in the country. 10 questions, 10 sauces. Today I got not a realtor with us today. We're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to do the real estate edition, but we're going to do a little bit of a lending twist. Today I've got my friend Mike Stone, 3 Point Mortgage, in the house. Mike, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Jeremy. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man. I every time I do one of these, I tell the staff this will be the last one. I get home, my girlfriend reminds me that I'm an idiot. And then I get to drink a lot of milk today. So that's what we're in store for. I'm a complete fool. I can't believe you're dumb enough to come on here. But let's crack the, let's kind of peel back the curtain to people about how your business looks, what you do, you know, and really give them a look on why you're with 3 Point, why 3 Point is partnered with Your Castle Real Estate, what that means for the consumer, what that means for our agent partners. You know, so how long have you been doing this, man? I mean, you're not new.
No, I've been doing this for 13 years now. Fresh out of college, graduated from CU in 2011. Got into the business just to build my resume. This wasn't the career that I wanted to pursue, but had a buddy at the company that I worked at previously, and there was an entry-level position that opened up.
Yeah, because you didn't start as a lender, right?
Correct. Okay. I started like bottom of the barrel, operations, pushing paper, ordering verifications of employment, organizing documents, that sort of stuff. Spent about 6 months doing that, and then joined a loan officer team in the DTC and was his kind of right hand transaction coordinator and processor.
So you've really seen like every angle. I read this great article about the guy who's the CEO of Red Lobster. And it was pretty cool. I think he started there like washing dishes, you know, and kind of worked his way up. So if somebody says like, man, food prep sucks, he's like, yeah, I know, I've done it. So you've kind of been all over the board. So he can relate,
yeah. Exactly. And I spent about a year and a half working under that loan officer, kind of managing his entire pipeline. Thrown into the lion's den, we were closing 10 to 15 loans a month, but that was the best way to learn. I mean, I was dealing with clients, I was dealing with the realtors, I was dealing with underwriters, and best way to learn is a lot of times just whether it's experience or failure, and so I was falling on my face left and right, and it ultimately was the best training because I really got to see how to get loans done from start to finish, how to think like a processor, how to think like an underwriter, how to think like an originator. Didn't work out between him and I, and so then that's when I got my license to originate in 2014 and have been doing it ever since.
Well, we're going to get this kicked off. We'll start with the classic hot sauce. So this is like just a Tabasco, man. There's nothing to it.
Nice.
I've only had one person not make it all the way through, so I don't think that'll be you today, Mike. So I'm pretty excited about that. So when you went into originating, what's one of the first things that surprised you the most? Not bad.
When I went into originating, what surprised me the most? You know, I think what I always attributed is sales. Like I looked at sales jobs coming out of college. I think I made more of a mountain out of a molehill than it really was. Same thing with originating. Felt like there was a lot of pressure on the originator to really, you know, these people are buying their next home. They're making a huge investment in a huge asset. And so that definitely, you know, I remember having that first consultation, feeling like the sweat on my brow and overthinking it. But then as I got into it more and more, I realized that like, hey, this isn't really sales. Like you're just serving people. And so if you're transparent, if you provide good guidance, you're really not selling anyone anything.
Sure.
They need this. They want this.
Yeah, you believe in the product. You know, you stand behind it. It really helps. We'll get on number 2. This is Seeing Double. Seeing Double. It's a pretty good one. I like this one. I would actually eat this at home, but there's no heat to it. I walked into the steakhouse in Tech Center one day. And there's this book, and it says, the answer is yes. What's the question? And I that always like burns in my mind, right? Because I really believe in what we're doing at Your Castle. I believe in what we're doing with 3 Point. And I believe in the people. I believe in the product, right? And I believe that we have a right to support people. And so I try to take that mentality. I know you kind of do too.
Yeah.
No, you were at Megastar for 15 years, right?
13.
13,
yeah.
Okay. Because I've been at Your Castle 15 years. I can't imagine being anywhere else. You know, I really can't. So that was a pretty big step, man, to kind of venture out. You know, you're comfortable. Huge. You're a big producer there. Like, tell me how that conversation went, like with your wife and stuff. Like, hey, I think I'm going to mix some stuff up.
Yeah. You know, it was a lot of back and forth, just internally or with like, you know, family, people in my corner. right? Big decision like that, you're always going to naturally somewhat second guess yourself. You know, I was very comfortable. I was kind of coasting. I certainly didn't need to shake things up, but at the same time, I was somewhat getting to an unfulfilled. Like, all right, I had done this. I had reached levels that I never thought were possible with my production, and that came back to earth with the market. And so now it's like, okay, I'm closing, 6 to 8 deals a month. That's like a cakewalk for me. And how do I really want to push myself? And so then the introduction through Jaden, to you, to Mitch and DJ came. And as those conversations progressed, then I had started having conversations with Mia, my wife, and other people in the family. And a lot of it was excitement on my part. I think with them, our youngest is 1.5 years old right now. So leading up to this transition, I was working a lot from home, both out of just convenience, but also to be there to help the family.
Yeah, be a good dad.
I didn't have to, go into an office. So I knew that there was going to be a lot of changes there. There was going to be a lot more demanding, events, meetings, happy hours, whatever it might be with the transition. So, we had those conversations, and ultimately I felt like if I don't take this, I feel like I'm going to regret it. I'm going to second guess myself. I'm going to look back on it and say like, wow.
Well, especially if you can track the numbers, right?
Totally.
If all of a sudden you see us do it, and you're like, holy shit, they did it. They're doing this. I could, Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did, man. We're very fortunate to have you as a partner in this. I don't think we could have had anyone better. It was interesting to me because I would do recruiting for a living, and but it's real estate agents, and so it was very hard for me to wrap my head around who is the perfect partner, right? Is it somebody new? Is it somebody experienced? Like what production level? What will they value? And we met with multiple people, and after meeting with you, I remember telling Eric Floor, who got in the house. Eric Floor, what's up? We were like, that's the guy. Like, that's the guy. Same with Mitch and DJ. Those are the guys. So, we're pretty excited, man. So, how important is it to you? I know a lot of lenders will get their business by having relationships with realtors, right?
Yeah.
How do you find those relationships? How do you build those relationships? And how do you maintain them, right? And let's go into fermented kimchi. I really don't even know what kimchi is, but Jeff tells me every time. What is it, cabbage, Jeff? Jeff's not talkative today.
Yeah.
But, what's the key to that? You've done it for 13 years.
Yeah, as I look back at some of the relationships that I've built over the years, a lot of them happened very organically. I would be out at an event, networking event, meet a realtor, right? Nothing happens there right on the spot, but get them into the ecosystem, get them into my world, follow up with them. That's an example. Otherwise, it's, I think the big movers and shakers in the industry are constantly crossing paths.
Sure.
So, like Erin Carlson at the event yesterday, she was like, I've seen your name all over the place over the years, but I don't know that we've ever done a transaction together. So it's stuff like that where if you're doing enough business, eventually you're going to cross paths once or multiple times with someone. That's your impression. That's your foot in the door to do a good job, showcase your skills, and then build a relationship from there. And I've always been the type that it's like, hey, let me showcase myself as a resource first, whether it's a transaction we're working on or not. So if you've got you feel like you're getting the runaround from an underwriter, you've got an appraisal situation going on, even if that's not a deal that we're working on, call me and I'm happy to be a sounding board, and I'll let you know what the right questions are to ask, what I think might be going on. And so that's really worked well for me. And then, the people that I really enjoy, I think in this business it's nice because we have a professional relationship, but a lot of times that can transcend into friendship and very personal relationships. And so the strongest partners that I have, that's the level that we're on. And that's what I like working with. We know it's a two-way street and it's a team.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. It's fascinating. And that one's actually pretty good. I'm surprised by it. A little tiny baby heat.
You made kind of a weird face at first.
Yeah, it kind of caught me off guard, man. There's 10 different sets of these. We've had all of them over the years. And sometimes they'll put one a little bit early on that's spicy. You're not anticipating it, right? So that's what it kind of got me. But I joke with Piper, my girlfriend, we can't get married in Colorado because I'd have to invite 400 people.
Yeah.
right? And then screw that, right? Like that, you know. So we'll have to like go to Vegas or Bali or something by ourselves, you know.
Vegas is a little too close, probably too. You're gonna have all 400 there.
Yeah, I mean but that's what tends to happen, right? So
Yeah.
if you're if you're a realtor and you're a real estate agent, you're watching this, and you're not happy with your current lending partner, right? Maybe they're not delivering on value. Maybe they're taking you for granted a little bit. That happens. You know, if you want to sit down with Mike, what's the best way for somebody to get in touch with you?
One, reach out, text me, you know, email me, whatever works. I've also got a Calendly where it's just open booking, book a call, in-person meeting, Zoom, whatever works. Reach out to Jeremy.
I can connect you for sure.
He'd be able to put us in touch. So hopefully by this point, I'm pretty easily found. But otherwise, let me know if I'm not, and we'll fix
that for sure. Yeah. Let's fix that with a little Los Calientes, right? What about this, man? You've done probably, hundreds and hundreds of loans, right? Over the course of your career. Is there any one that just really stands out to you? Maybe it was like the situation, you really helped somebody. Maybe it was a dream home, or maybe it was an agent. Like, give me just a taste of, like, you know, when you start talking about this industry, what's one you point to that go, man, I love that deal?
Yeah, I'll kind of do two. One, talking about networking events. So I went to this, when I was first getting started, I would go to this network after work event. Mm-hmm. Big mixer of different professionals. I met this girl, Erica. This is 2014 when I'm just getting started. And I don't remember the exact conversation, but she reaches out to me after the fact, or I reach out to her and follow up. And she needs a loan. She's looking to buy her first property.
Nice.
We sit down. She ends up buying a triplex. And that one conversation, I've probably done 6 or 7 loans for Erica at this point. Multiple purchases, multiple refinances, all from just kind of putting myself out there into the right, and having a conversation with someone. And that also will, same situation for probably my biggest referral partner. I don't know what the dollar amount is. I call it $1 million conversation. Maybe it's to that magnitude, maybe it's not. But I was at a charity event, and I met this guy. I overhear people talking about house hacking. Like, it's a Sunday morning. I've been drinking mimosas. I'm like, I really don't want to go work right now. Yeah. But I interject into the conversation anyway. That guy ends up working for Bigger Pockets, the real estate investing network, and later goes on to become CEO. Well, that one conversation, I worked with him on some personal deals. He introduced me to other employees within the company that I worked with, one of which went out and got his real estate license, and in his first year did 70 transactions. And I did probably 50 of them.
That's pretty cool.
So, it's just, for me, I call it like kind of stirring things up in the community. Mm-hmm. And I don't do that like I used to now that I've got the kids. Well, but sure. When I do, you just never know where a conversation can go.
Yeah, I love being around my girlfriend. I hate being far away from her. So when we go out to have dinner, we usually sit at the bar, and she used to get irritated because you hear people talking. Anytime the word real estate, realty, any of that popped up, it's like spidey sense going off, right? That's a good hot sauce. Mm-hmm. And kind of pick up, and she goes, don't do it, right? And I have to. I have to do it. And so now she'll listen for a while, and she's like, you're going to do it. I'm like, yeah, because you never know, right? You just never know what's out there, And you also never know how Fat Cat, Chairman Meow's revenge is going to taste. I know you got 2 kids.
You're starting to build a little bit.
Got to meet your family, lovely family. Your wife's super awesome. Spent some time with her, How do you find that balance, man? I'm a very goal-oriented person. And the last week of the month for me, if I haven't hit my goals, I have this constant battle on doing what's right for me and my family, or doing the fiduciary right that I have to the company, right?
Sure.
But there's sometimes you got to shut it off. Sometimes you got to be a dad, or you got to be, a husband. How do you balance that, man? Because I think you do this very well.
Thanks. I don't think I do it very well at times. And I would say, especially to the younger agents out there, I think my struggle was before I was married, before I had kids, I was a workaholic, and I didn't have good boundaries in my life. Mm-hmm. And my wife's amazing, and she let me get out there and hustle. And she was very supportive of that. And so the reason that that's become hard is because I still have kind of a mental tendency. Like, I've worked this muscle out for so long, it's hard to turn off. Mm-hmm. Some of that has happened just with having the kids. like if there's a crying baby in the background, you kind of got to drop stuff and go help out.
Yep.
Or right, we get to 5, 6 o'clock, and it's just like, okay, stuff is going to come up. I've also gotten better at just asking the question with the client, like, hey, is it a problem if this, is it a problem if I get this to you in the morning? And where I feel like earlier on in my career, I was much more of a yes man. I was like, okay, I'm going to get this to you right now. Hang tight. And I never even asked, like, do they need it right now? Or what is suitable for their timeline? Like, can this be turned around tomorrow? Like, I've got a Your Castle referral that I met with last night, or I had the first conversation with. I know they're looking at a condo already. I call the agent. I'm like, hey, I'm talking with her today. We're probably going to set up a meeting for Thursday based on what she told me with her schedule. Is that going to be okay for the timeline with the offer? And she's like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. All right, so just making sure that I'm not making assumptions on I think early on I just assumed everything had to happen right away.
I'm with you, man. I'm a natural pleaser. And it really took my son educating me a couple times on the shit that I do really isn't that important. You know, I mean, it's important to me, right? And I want to feel good about it. But at the same time, like, you know, there's nothing more important than doing Legos with my kid. Mm-hmm. You know, there really isn't. Or investing in relationships, or, you know, especially my partner. And I know you feel the same way. Now, that one's pretty good. I'm starting to get a little heat here.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Nothing too crazy. I think I'm going to have to, like, not pour so fast, though, coming up here.
Yeah.
I've been kind of
gets a little crazy. So, I mean, when you look at a company like 3 Point and you look at Your Castle Real Estate, I mean, you know, I know how lending works, man. You could go get a big check from people any day to go work at their company, right? What drew you to 3 Point? What drew you to Your Castle? Like, what qualities do we have that you thought, okay, that kind of aligns with me?
Yeah. Well, I put a lot of trust in Jaden, you know, having already had the relationship both with Your Castle and with 3 Point. But I've worked with Your Castle agents.
Sure.
Some are great friends and, you know, salt of the earth. And so I know they just have a very good judge of character, whether that's on, you know, the person that they're sitting next to or talking with or company as a whole. And so I know they just have really good values. But, you know, and then as far as Mitch and DJ, what I loved about them was, I guess the best way I can put it is these guys are deal makers. Like they do believe in transparency in the industry. There's not a whole lot of that going on. They want to shake that up. They want to be transparent with the loan officers that they hire. They want to be transparent with clients, which is something that I've always valued very heavily. And they also want to push the envelope. So they want to go bring on a credit union, which I've never heard of a broker having access to a credit union.
Yeah, I haven't either.
And, you know, it's stuff like that, you know, and then even like the real estate partnerships. Like, all right, these guys are looking to shake up the industry. They're looking to make deals, and they also want to take care of people. And so, you know, it was a 6-month or 8-month process, but at the end, it happened very quickly. And so there was a bit of a leap of faith to like join Mitch and DJ. But I, you know, very pleased that everything we discussed, even loosely, without putting a whole lot of pencil to paper, they've kept every promise.
I feel the same way, man. You know, when I ran development for a large real estate brokerage, did 3 states before I came to work with Lon. It gets a little hotter. Yeah, you kind of feel it right around here. Mm-hmm. But and I remember I interviewed with Lon. I went home and I told my wife at the time. I said, "Hey, I'm quitting my job. I'm going to go work with this guy. He has this little brokerage. We're going to make less money for about 2.5 years. We're going to probably go through a ton of savings. And I need to do this. I think it's the right move for us." She's like, "What do you mean you're going to make less money, right?" And I'm like, "But in the grand scheme of things, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be a better husband, better father. I'm going to be happy. And we have the opportunity to actually grow something here. It was the best move I ever made." Like, it really was. Oh, going for the water already. All right.
A little bit.
Go. So number 7, this one's great. It's called Black Eyed Susan, the Red Flag.
Yeah, do you have a favorite of these hot sauces that's like
Yes.
you have at home?
I have 3 of these kits at home. So
Okay.
we love this stuff, right? And we love spicy food. But the bomb is the most disgusting hot sauce in the world, the next one. Like, it has a way of punching you in the face, stopping for a second, and you think it's over. And it's not. It's like a boomerang of pain. You'll see.
Great.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So, we're backed by a large company that owns us, Kieran Real Estate Holdings. They have, the thing in Texas, and I was very surprised when they bought Your Castle Real Estate how much I would enjoy working with them. Right, they're the way we have our culture, the way that they let us kind of be Your Castle, the way they support us. That's kind of the same thing with Mitch and DJ to your business, right?
Totally. I mean, I think of them as, the backbone. They've set up a bunch of, processes, tech, all that kind of stuff. They're very, right. They understand the broker model. I'm 3 months into the broker model. But yeah, very supportive, great sounding board, and just great visionary too.
You mentioned broker model compared to more like a standard bank, right?
Yeah.
And for Megastar was that other option, right? Was there anything that you like more about the broker model, or you surprised you, or you feel like you can leverage more than the traditional model?
Totally. One of the things I like more is just having access to the market. I always felt like my last company was very competitive with rates. Mm-hmm. But when we're shopping rates in that model, in some companies, they have access to one rate. They have access to their own rate. We had access to maybe 6.
Okay.
At 3 I've got access to 100, give or take. So when we'd see volatility in the market, whether it's good volatility, rates dropping, I'd look at our rate sheets and where the companies I could price out were pricing. I'm like, Mortgage News Daily is saying this, and I'm not seeing the same improvement on my end. Mm-hmm. What's going on here? Well, now that I have access to 100 different companies, I can be sure that, okay, I get that some companies are going to price more aggressively when we see movements and some aren't. But I can take advantage of the ones that do price more aggressively and ensure I'm always staying on top of that and offering the best thing to the consumer.
Is price the most important thing?
No. But the consumer, and I don't think it is for the consumer always, but I think there's the perception that it's the most important thing.
I'm a big believer in you get what you pay for, right? But I'm also a big believer in outproducing the cost. It's like, here at Your Castle, one of the things we really look for is, I don't want to be the most expensive guy in the market, and I sure as hell don't want to be the cheapest. Mm-hmm. But that's a good hot sauce, huh? But if I can if I can charge you X and produce this much more, then when some recruiter calls you and says, come over here, you can say, I can't, right? They outproduce the cost plan. Now, I'm going to ask you a great question, but I'm not going to do it until we both have the bomb.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, then I'll answer the second part of your question. What am I surprised about? Because I sold against brokers at the last company, and the big sale there was,
I hate this hot sauce, man.
Hey, we have in-house processing, underwriting, closing, funding, yada, yada, yada. If I need to get something done, I can walk down the hall and talk to my underwriter about it. And, so I thought I was going to lose some of that control, lose some of that luxury. Man, you were really overthinking this one.
Even you're telling you, don't be a little baby on this.
What do you got on yours? Okay, I'll match it.
Even just the smell is messing with me.
But what I've really been surprised about is just the speed of these companies and the level of service in the broker world. They are fighting for the loan like I'm fighting for it.
Ah, I see.
And so they know I can send it to another company. And so they want it so bad that they want to outperform.
Sure.
And whether that's on just picking up the phone or having a quick response time or having a really quick underwrite, submit it in the morning, it's out in the afternoon. That's one of the things that I've been really surprised and pleased with. And yeah, even that last one's kind of
it's got a little bit.
Still got some linger to it.
I can feel the head get a little sweaty here.
Well,
right,
dude,
here we go.
I feel like I got more than you do on mine.
Oh, it's not bad yet. Wait, it's fun. It's fun. It's coming. So, give it a minute. Oh man.
Does it help to wash it down, or
I don't know. We're about
does
to
that make it worse?
I'm about to find out. Oh, it's so bad. Jeff, no more of these. Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
Who picks these?
The company does, actually. So the guy, we're not in any way affiliated with the Hot Ones Challenge off YouTube, but the guy is an amazing presenter. Amazing. And I'm trying not to use expletives today because I know it's family friendly, but that's a hot sauce, man.
Yeah, it just kind of sits there on the back of your tongue and will not go away.
No. There's a little, it's like mouth ninja just slicing you up. So, a lot of weird cinnamon in the market right now, right? Oh shoot! But what do you think's gonna happen, man? man. I mean, the Fed met today, right? They met today. I think that is there going to be a point drop, half a point, quarter point? What does that mean? And describe this to me literally like I'm in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people don't really understand the Federal Reserve and how it all works. But, what do we think? Is there optimism going into the spring for buyers to get lower rates? Oh, fudge. Ooh, this one is called Peppers Up. It's got a picture of a dead guy with flames coming out of his mouth. If it tells you anything.
Love it.
I love it.
We've blazed through the first 7-8 questions, but these last ones are going to take a while.
It does, yeah.
So the Fed met today. They did cut. I think most recent headlines I saw before we started this were that it doesn't seem like they're saying too much, or there's major changes to their projections for the outlook in 2026, which is a good thing.
Okay.
Because if the Fed had come and said hey, we think we're going to slow our roll, or they change around what they call the dot plot, which is kind of their projection for further rate hikes or cuts, we would have seen the market go one way or the other. And in recent months, it's gone usually the wrong way there. Yeah, my mouth is sweating too.
Yeah, man. I'm sweating in places sweat shouldn't be.
But in general, and I was talking to Eric about this before, whether it's lower rates, I think that's what the consumer wants. But what I'm more pleased with in the current market is that there's less volatility. Because I think the consumer has gotten psychologically a little bit more comfortable with higher rates, so they just know that,
Sure.
what we saw 5 years ago, 10 years ago is not the market we're going to see over the next 5 or 10 years. And so with that, less volatility is just easier to plan for, right? So a client can come to me and say, or they can come to a realtor and say, hey, we are thinking about a move, whether it's in 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years. And, when rates are bouncing from 6 to 7 to 8, back to 7 to 6, and just going up and down, that's really hard to plan around.
So is this heat in my mouth.
Yeah. So how's this one compared to the last one?
This is kind of like doing a shot of tequila after drinking 9 beers.
Oh.
It's like you're already there.
Well,
right? It's like how much more can it,
Yeah.
can it mess you up? How important is it to you to have a support staff on the back end, right? Good assistance. I know we work with United Wholesale Mortgage. How important is it to have that structure? They're the largest lender, I think, in the country, right?
Yeah.
And thanks for the hat, UWM. Appreciate you. But knowing that you have that type of support, how do you leverage that as far as letting your clients know that you're not just some little shop here in Denver, right?
Right. Yeah, it's an army. It's a village. The personal team support is incredible. Boots on the ground, interfacing with clients, right? Them understanding the gravity of the situation for a client. And there's a lot of emotion that comes with real estate transactions. Realtors all the time say, hey, I'm a therapist just as much as I am a realtor. And so I think that's where the, my processor, Cheryl, my assistant, Nicole, they're incredible at that. Have known Nicole for over 10 years, and she came from the hospitality industry. Yep. And that's kind of what we're in here now too, is there's a lot of hospitality that can go into a transaction and make people feel special. So they understand that, which is very powerful and helpful. And then the army behind me with UWM, or any other lender. Once again, I had a situation the other day. We got underwriting feedback. It was a suspense. And meaning the underwriter didn't like the way we structured the commission or some rental income. I fire off a nice email kind of asking some questions to the underwriter. While that happens, and then I get a call from the account executive. And he's like, hey, I already talked to the underwriter. I got it smoothed over. She's going to re-review things. She hadn't even seen my email. But the rep at this company had already stepped in.
Wow. Had
the conversation with the underwriter. Kind of did that job for me. So he's kind of falling on the sword. And I've coming from the underwriting background, dealing with underwriters all the time. I know not to beat them up or piss them off because that doesn't do anyone any good in the short term or the long term. But once again, he just kind of handled it. And that's so nice. An hour later, our suspense went to a conditional approval, and we're closing a week later. So yeah, it's a team effort.
Yeah, I hear a friend of mine named Jamie Bearden always says this. He says it's a dance, right? Oh, shit. It's, because, it's a dance, right? You got to have a dance partner, and if you do it right, it'll look good. Because it's too bad sometimes that we're all against each other on these deals, right? I mean, I don't know. There's some study that said that how many mouths get fed on each real estate transaction. There's a lot of people that rely on this, whether it's the closer, the stager, the movers, the realtor, the title company, all these things. And it's sad that we have to be so adversarial sometimes. The truth is, let's work together.
For sure. We all want the same thing.
100%.
We all want to get the loan done.
The last dab is brutal, so we're gonna.
That one really wasn't that bad compared to the bomb.
This one just makes life easier, and this one comes back and punches you in the head.
Okay.
But you dab it twice, so it's up to you. But
I'm gonna see what you mean.
I'm gonna show you. There's one, and you come back in for number 2.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yep. So I hate this, by the way. This one's really rough.
Okay.
But it's not as bad as this one, to be honest with you. And my mouth's still on fire.
So Jeff, do they give ratings on this, like the Scoville?
Scoville heat rating. Yeah, so I've got the card somewhere. What it says is, the Tabasco is 1,000, and this is 2.5 million.
Nice.
The bomb was 400,000, right? So, we'll do same time on this one, and then I get a final question for you, and we'll get out of here, man. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with me, man. I've really enjoyed getting to know you and your family and your business, and we're gonna do this for years, man.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
And I also want to just give a quick thanks to all the Your Castle agents and agents that are outside of Your Castle, who have just shown us so much love in this endeavor, flooded us with leads and opportunities, and all the cocktails, the lunches, especially the cocktails, I've really enjoyed, and just keep hanging with us. You're gonna see some neat stuff.
I want you to see my second dab.
All right,
No, it's just number 1.
Close up, Jeff. I'm just kidding. That's good. Yeah, let's kill yourself. You got the rest of the day. All right, here we go. Oh, what?
Is it a good technique to just try and swallow it before it
I don't think
lingers
so.
around?
I don't think so.
It wasn't so bad to start. I feel like it's gonna hit me.
Yeah. It's like those videos of the kid getting hit in the nuts with the ball or something, but it's in slow motion. You can see their faces kind of oh, no, it's not pleasant. That's not pleasant, man. So you came in, 10 hot sauces, 9.5 questions. Tell me something that you like to do when you're not slinging loans or being a dad. What drives you?
Yeah, I mean, I love family time. We're homebodies. Love cooking at home. Love firing up the Traeger.
Me too.
Love making good cocktails. Otherwise, love watching sports.
Go Cowboys.
Getting out playing golf. Yeah, go Cowboys. We're not looking too good this year. But playing golf, snowboarding. I'm excited to get my daughter on skis this year. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
This won't stop.
My afternoons, I got a meeting after this.
Well, thanks guys for watching. Again, if you need help with loans, you need to talk business, you need to talk real estate, you're unhappy at your brokerage, you're unhappy with your lender, hit one of us up. We'll bring you a ton of value. And hopefully we will not see you next time on the next edition of Bird My Face Off. So I'll see you later. Thanks guys.